All right, guys, what is going on, everybody? How you guys doing? My name is Mike Toledo. Thanks again for joining me on this podcast. Now, I apologize if you have actually thought you were watching this podcast and then it disappeared and then it came back on. Well, apparently I had some audio issues, and for those who follow me, you know I'm a real stinker about audio, and lately I've been just trying to work out the kinks on the audio. And I had no audio with one of my guests, my co-host, Joe Garcia from Dent Evo. So I pretty much had to take it down. You can't just replace it. So I edited that out. Now you're seeing the re-edit as we're speaking. And they decided to add a little something in there because I couldn't get Joe. Joe and I, it's Easter weekend and it's a lot going on. So there's no way I could re-record what we did. So we'll put that on the next episode. But meanwhile, this episode is going to be a tutorial or a little breakdown of dents that you get on the edge that have the little seam. Now, not all the time you're gonna be able to fix it completely, but you'll be impressed on how this was fixed. Actually, we had a little dent meetup a few months ago or a couple months ago, and we always do little little dents and hard small dents that are hard to fix and can be complicated. And so we share techniques, and you'll see a little sneak peek of that. And we will release that on Dent Trainer and on YouTube as well. But heck, you're gonna see part of that right now. We do have the Dream. If you haven't been caught up on that, it's an event that you will see virtually that you can go. It's about the tools, it's about training, learning about the PDR aspects of things. And so, yeah, we'll talk about that. And then Chris Brown from Dent Patrol in the LA County area, and we're going to talk about how he does his wholesale accounts, and we actually did a ride along with him as well, so you'll see that in the near future too. But he gives some really good advice about wholesale accounts, so we like to always kind of keep you guys in the loop about dealerships, wholesale accounts, the different perspectives of how people run their businesses, and so you'll get a good idea of how Chris runs his. And last but not least, but you might see it first in this segment, is uniforms. How professional can you be? Why is it more important, I would say, to wear polos or something with a collar than a t-shirt? Don't get me wrong, I like it, but you'll see my opinions on it and get my take on that, and you'll have all the listings of those type of shirts that I wear and that I use, including some of those hats. All right, so let's get cracking. It's time to talk about being professional. And what I'm really getting at is the uniforms. Now, there are different variations of uniforms. I'm going to talk about the hats and shirts and actually just kind of give you just a different look like this. Or what about like this? Like that, that's not bad. How about this one? And how about this one? So as you guys can see, that uniforms can make your company feel a lot different, look more professional. In fact, I get all the time, especially when I wear polos, are you a franchise? We're going to talk about that right now, where you can get these type of uniforms, why I put my logos on the side or in the middle. We're going to get all into that. All right, uniforms. Well, as I was saying, so if you want to look professional and want people to think that you're a franchise, I think personally a polo is the best way to go. So I'll kind of break down why I chose these polos. I have actually different kinds. And to be honest with you, this is actually an Under Armour polo. Now, a lot of people, what they do is they leave the Under Armour on and they put their logo on the opposite side. I don't like to advertise for anybody. I mean, it just looks, I had an Under Armour right here And so what I did is I embroidered right over it. I told them to embroider right over that sucker. I don't want any Under Armour like visually in the front. I have one in the back, like in the behind underneath the collar, and you can see that. But other than that, I mean, here's how it looks. I'll look a little further back, but it's pretty nice. I mean, it fits me. I've lost some weight, obviously, from a few years ago. I'm probably right at a healthy weight now. That was 175 a year and a half ago, which is a little too skinny for me personally. But now I'm probably a hefty 205, 200 right now. So this is a large shirt. So I'm 5'11" and 200 pounds. So if you're kind of, if you're in that weight limit, if you're above, like if you're 210, you're taller, maybe you're 6 foot 6'1", you probably still get away with a large if you're slender, but if you're a little bit heftier, then you'd probably definitely want to go an extra large. So that'll fit you a little bit. You don't want to go too baggy, and you don't want to go too tight. Okay, I definitely don't want to go too tight. But this Under Armour is pretty nice. Now this hat right here is I'm going to take off my hat right here, is they call it a Richardson. Now I'm going to give you guys the numbers down there in the description. The Richardson, this is a snapback here. Back in the day, I used to wear that when I was a little kid. I still wear it now. It seems like it's the popular brand. The Richardson fits really good. It's breathable. It's nice. This is the charcoal light hat that I'm wearing. And I've got the Dent Time logo big and across. Look how it's a billboard. That's what I want. Okay. I also have another hat that I use. It's a flat bill, right? And then I've got the logo to the left of it. Okay. Yep. To the left, to your right, but my left. It's really nice. Is this the type of hat that I wear all the time? Nah, it just looks kind of funny on me because I have a small head, but people I give them away to, I sell it to, it fits them fantastic. So this is a really nice hat. My techs wear this hat. They get away with that. Me personally, it just it doesn't look as good. So, look, I got ears stick out like a mofo, dude. So, but you can be all b-boyed out. Hey, what's up? Now, I don't recommend you going to someone's house looking like this. Okay. You definitely don't want to do that. You don't want to look like this either. You're 50 years old, you're wearing your hat backwards, tilted, yada, yada. Might look cool. You might get away with that as you're younger. But again, the proper way, if you're going to wear it straight. Okay. No big deal. That still looks really professional. My personal preference is this way right here. This is the way I would be rolling. But again, it's giving that impression to your customer that you're the real deal, that you are, they hired a professional company. Now, another hat I like is the Flex Fit hat. This is the mesh style right there. This is probably my most comfortable hat here. And see, that fits me really nice, really comfortable. And if you're a guy that likes to tuck his ears in, right, it's plenty long, so it doesn't look too stupid. For me, I have some of the most biggest ears ever, but if you wanted to get away with that, you could. Personally, again, I'm all about like that. And it does look good backwards. So if you got a young tech, he likes to, and if he's out in the sun, if you're out in the dealerships, this is probably the hat I would choose because it is super light. It's easy. It's a stretch hat. It doesn't get dirty. The darker the hat, the better. Generally, the longer it lasts. And here's a tech tip. So for your hats. So in here, we all know we get a little sweaty inside of this. Okay. What you can do now, they do have sweat prevention things on Amazon, but if you want to go super cheapo and easy, you take some insulation tape and you just put it right around. You stick it in here and you got about a 1/2 inch insulation and it's foam, and you put it on and it'll absorb all the sweat there instead of your hat and make your hat last a lot longer. That's generally what I do. It's a brand new hat, so I haven't done it yet. And that kind of gives you kind of an idea of the hats. I like FlexFit. I like Richardson's. Those are pretty much the ones that I use. I'll give you some links down below too as well. So let me show you a couple different shirts as well. So this one is a Sport Tech shirt. Let's see if I can get that in focused here. It's really nice. It's super light. And I've always put my logo either on the right or left sleeve. This is on the left chest. All right. And when I'm working, I've got my emblem. Oops, my emblem right here. All right. And listen, I get more people that ask me, what do you do? Do you take out dents? They always pop up when I'm wearing a polo. I don't know why. I mean, I'm assuming because I look way more professional than I do a t-shirt. No, don't get me wrong. T-shirts are fine. Matter of fact, I love t-shirts. I wear t-shirts most of the time when I'm out running around. But when I'm doing, face to face with clients and I'm going from one account to another, or dealerships or retails, I want to wear my polos. If I'm at the shop, it depends. I flip a coin. Okay, it depends on the weather and whatnot. And I'm not saying, ladies and gentlemen, don't wear t-shirts. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying, if you want to look the most professional, invest in polos. Okay. Sport Tech is very affordable, very affordable. If you like to spend a little bit more money, you want to get a more premium shirt, yeah, go for the Under Armour. Just have your embroiderer go right over the Under Armour. That's my advice. Here is another, actually this one right here is 511. Now 511 runs a little big, okay? They runs one size big, so beware. So if you buy a large, it's gonna feel like an extra large. I would try it on just to make sure. This is an extra large, it fits me like a double X. You saw me wear it just a second ago. Real quickly, if you wanna see that. I do have a smaller one. So for me, again, I would probably go, this is actually a large, believe it or not. Actually, no, is this extra large? Yeah, extra large. It's a little too big, to be honest with you. So I would go one size. This is, look at it. It's perforated on the shoulders, if you can see that. It's really breathable, super light, and 511 makes really good gear. So if you're thinking about looking at 511, actually to me personally, they make the best shorts. 511 has some of the best shorts out there. That's my preference as well. We'll maybe do that on a later time. Here's another Sport Tech, right? This one has a little bit of, it kind of goes from, charcoal right here all the way down, super light. It looks fantastic, you guys, really sharp. Your technicians will look fabulous on there. Again, super professional. And you could put on both sleeves if you wanted to. You could even have your logo in the back if you wanted to, your emblem right there. That's something I might consider doing later on as I do that. Now, you probably wonder, how come you just don't have your logo? I mean, why do you have an emblem? Well, the emblem, again, so I can do things like this, right? And I can do things like this, or maybe if I want to wrap it on a vehicle on the corner of it. It's just a symbol of my main logo. And I think it just makes it look, it's the cool factor, shall I say. All right. And here is the last one. One of my last ones. This is actually one of the lightest ones that I have. And it's really light, really nice when you're working outside. It can get dirty, but not stainy dirty. It's easy to clean because it's got that acid wash look to it. And again, this will go with anything, any kind of color shorts that you have. It's just pretty neutral, shall I say. But yeah, so Sport Tech, I think, is probably the best bang for your buck to invest in. I use a company called Ace Uniforms. They do ship anywhere in the United States. $50 setup fee, and their embroidering is top notch. When I train my students, if they already have a logo, I send them there. We take a trip over there and they do their logo. And some of these guys have real intricate logos and it comes out spot on. So I'll give you the person's in contact to talk to. His name's Abe. So if you're looking to get some stuff embroidered and you want to order some Sport Tech shirts, they can do it all right then and there. And they'll charge you probably a $50 setup fee and about $10 per logo. Tell them Mike from Dent Time sent you. I'm telling you, it is well worth it if you've been thinking about getting some embroidered and some polo shirts and whatnot. All right, so let's get right into the next segment. All right, guys, what is going on now? I have two other guests on here. You might have heard of one of them. The other one, I don't know. You know, who cares, right? I'm just messing. We got Don Cavanaugh and Dave Stream. They're bringing the Dream event, and we're going to bring them on right now to see what is cracking. What's going on there, Dave? What's going on there, Don? How you doing?
Mike.
Hey,
thanks so much for having us on.
So
appreciate you, man.
Let's get right into it, man. The Dream is based on what I've seen and what I've been reading and you guys have been sharing with me. It is basically a virtual, kind of almost like a virtual MTE almost, like, right? So people can go and check out the speakers. There's some speakers that are going to be going on, and there's some tool companies too as well. Is that what this is about? Or you want to elaborate?
I think that's the easiest way to explain it, but it's also completely different than that. So it's like a mega website, if you will, where all the exhibitors are going to be there. It's going to be a lot of fun and interactive. We're going to have speeches and stuff, but it's different formats for the speeches and obviously different topics and stuff like that. And we've followed a really cool format for how these presentations are going to go out. So really excited about those. But yeah, it's a really good way to describe it. And so, you know, anybody that buys a Dream ticket is going to get 25% off their Vegas MTE ticket. MTE's done an amazing job of helping us promote it, and they're sponsoring the show, and they've got a booth and everything. They've just been amazing. And at first, like everybody else, they stepped back and said, "Whoa, what are these guys doing?" And then, you know, Sheldon was like, "No, this is, you know, I know Dave personally, like he would never do anything to compete with us or whatever." And again, I love MTE. It's the best party of the year and essential to my business and stuff. So it's in no ways like a replacement or because they canceled, we're doing this or anything like that. Like we've been working on this for a long year before COVID or any of that stuff. And again, Sheldon and I are going to be doing a podcast where we talk about the synergy and how the online is going to help the in-person events and stuff. So
let me ask you this, Don, and then you guys will get into kind of like, you know, the little bit of facts, because I was looking at your website and, you know, you kind of broke down the facts. But Don and Dave, and this question will let you answer this, Don, why did you guys end up wanting to do this? I mean, what motivated you guys to do that?
Just to give a quick dime store, try to make it a little quick so we don't go on and on. But Dave and I just basically went into some training, business training, and we learned a lot. And it basically made us kind of be looking at an oversight and look at the industry that we love and that we've been in. And we were able to look at it from a topography, you know, basically looking down inside the business and really understand what's missing in our industry. And we really thought it was bringing all the techs and everybody to the limelight and really try to get everybody on the same page. And we thought, what a perfect avenue to do this. Just get, you know, 20 plus speakers to speak and bring knowledge like you can't believe, to bring every speaker is bringing a $10,000+ idea to the table. Some of these speeches are $30,000, $40,000 to your bottom line overnight. So it's really crazy. And we're just excited to help everybody out, really just lift everybody up.
Yeah. Mike, just like you love helping people, and Don and I do too. Don's got a heart of gold, as you know. This is a way that we can help more than just one-on-one. We can help a larger reach and make more impact.
Great. So I want to kind of touch base on the, if you want to share our screen here. You wrote some facts down here, right? So
and this is all on dentrepair.com, everybody.
Yep, dentrepair.com. You can go easily go check this out. And so we've already kind of covered what is the Dream. what do you think they're going to get out of this? What's the end game out of this this dream event?
So I'll take that, or Dave, go ahead, either one.
Go ahead, Don. Yeah.
Basically what we want to have everybody come out with is getting on the same page. So frustrating for me to be a retail shop owner for 32 years and having a customer come in and have him say, I've been to 3 shops. One guy's at $80, one guy's at 150, one guy's at 200. Here you guys are at $250. Why are you guys so divided? And we just really thought that the best way to do that was to educate everybody involved, bring everybody up, try to get a more kind of a synergy and type of an idea where we could all get on the same page and really realize our value. And by doing that, we can lift up the whole industry and we can kind of look more unified, really, as in general. So that's really our goal here.
Cool. Dave, you want to add on to that?
Yeah. Basically just really helping each person get to the next level with their business. There's some of these presentations are going to touch on topics that have never been really discussed at all in PDR and stuff. I don't want to give too much away, but one of them's going to basically help you be smart with your money so you can actually retire versus just pushing till we die, which is most people's plans, I think, and stuff like that. Like there's really a lot, but basically, yeah. We're going to help you level up your business. And it's not always what's taught, but what's caught. And Mike, you know, as well as I do, like we go to these different expos and whether it's small little groups or huge expos or whatever, the one-off conversations that happen in the hallways and stuff sometimes are where you pick up the game changer for you that you bring back to your business and stuff. So there's going to be a lot of that built in through our lounges, and we've even got a drinking room and stuff like that. Like, so there's going to be a lot of networking opportunities and stuff like that. And again, a lot of trainings and a lot of just things presented in a way that's never been done before.
Great. And so here's the question. So it's, when is the event? How much is the event? And is there an early bird ticket? Even though I'm kind of my podcast drops a couple weeks maybe before it does. So go ahead and break that down.
So the early birds should still be going on for that. It's $70, but even if you buy it at the door, it's $99. It's probably going to be more expensive the day after the show, which everybody's probably going to be like, what the hell? Well, let me explain. So I'll back up a little bit. All of the presentations are going to be recorded, and we're going to make them available to ticket holders only for 30 days after the event. So instead of drinking from the fire hose and getting all this knowledge and you're pumped up and all excited and then you don't know where to start, and then by the time you do start applying something, you don't remember all the rest of it, this you'll be able to go to over and over. And that's, so again, the answer to the first question, when is it? April 17th. But even if you don't log on that day, you're still going to get tremendous value from the show. So the speakers are going to start early that morning, depending on where you are in the world or whatever. But and everything's going to be on your time zone when you log on to the site. So it's going to convert for you, and we're going to have countdown timers and stuff like that to help you figure out time zones, which I'm terrible at, and stuff like that. But so again, I don't see the typical guy spending all day Saturday, April 17th, on their phone or on their computer dialed in. I see you jumping on, listen to a presentation, go get some brunch or something. Maybe you're pushing dents that day. Maybe you want to set your device up on the roof of the car and just listen, or on your cart or whatever. That's cool. The main show hours are going to be from 10 to 2 Central Time. So that's when I think everybody wants to make sure they're definitely live and present, taking advantage of the exhibitors' show specials and promoting their new tools. And that's when each booth is going to have everybody interactive, just like we are. Mike, I'm looking into your eyes. You know, if I give you a thumbs up, you can see it. You know, if I show you a tool, you'll be able to interact with the exhibitors that way during those show hours.
Cool. Okay,
so
now
I'd say
you guys
definitely
sent
pop
me
on during lunchtime and check all those out.
You guys sent me a link to a little sneak peek. Can we take a look at that?
This will be the first time anybody gets a tiny peek behind the curtain.
All right.
Breaking the ice with Mike Toledo.
Exciting.
Let's take a look. So here we are, guys. So what are we looking at here? Or what are we going?
So this is where people will be able to go, and this will be on the site probably next week when we get it a little more dialed in. Well, by the time it drops, probably the show drops. So they'll be able to buy their tickets there. That'll also allow them to buy multiple tickets. So let's say you've got 4 guys working on your team. you can buy 4 tickets at a time there, whereas the existing site doesn't allow for that.
Am I allowed to
Yeah,
show
it's got
this?
the agenda. Yeah, you can just
Yep.
don't
Yes, you are.
cover too long, so I don't want to give away too much yet, but
Okay.
keep the excitement going. But yeah, no, that's some of the speakers' agendas. There's some of our sponsors that are helping financially back the show.
Cool. It's a clean
There's
site.
the speakers. You can really show those. Thank you. And the bios aren't there, but when this is live on the site, you'll be able to click on each person and read their bio and see more about them and what they're doing. And you'll have all their topics, and each one of them just has a topic that just blows you away. And like Don and I have over 50 years combined experience in PDR, and we're taking notes. We're like, oh my God, I've never heard that in my entire career. Like that's the kind of value these guys are bringing. I'm so proud of each and every one of our presenters. They've been working for over a month just diligently on this, dialing in their topics and their headlines and working on, and they're following this format that's really cool.
Really cool.
So yeah.
Really cool. So this is, so they, it'll be dentrepair.com. That's where they can buy the tickets, or is this going to be another
yes,
specific?
dentrepair.com will be where they can buy their tickets. It'll be solely replaced with this platform. And then did you click on the exhibitor tab?
I believe I did. We can do that.
So,
again.
okay, maybe you did. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
when you scroll through,
stuff,
if you click on one of them, it's just going to go to their website for right now. But during the show, that'll take you to their booth.
Hey, who's that handsome guy?
So that's how easy it'll be.
Yeah,
there you
exactly.
go. Yep.
Who is that dude?
So cool.
So cool. So when you're in the exhibitor's booth, you'll be able to interact with them live, just like we're doing right here on this platform. Ask questions. And again, if you're not a camera guy, have your camera off, have your mic off. You can still chat if you want, or you can totally be a fly on the wall. It's as much no pressure. It's whatever you want to do as an attendee. And then again, there'll be pre-made videos, which I'm really excited about. Some of the exhibitors are doing a great job preparing their videos for that. And then there'll be show specials and bios telling you more about the person. So like Edgy Tools will say it's Dave Streen and his wife Stacey Streen, and they're really big into ergonomics because I hurt my shoulder. It'll have all that kind of stuff in there, whatever they want to put, so you can learn a little bit more about the exhibitors and everything. And then they'll have links where they're helpful links to buy their show specials and take advantage of any promos or click on for new products or anything like that. So
yeah,
it's really a cool system, really easy to use.
I would pay that much money. I mean, that's not even much money, guys. I mean, that's nothing.
We tried to make it really affordable for everybody. And there's no airfare, there's no hotel rooms, there's no time away from work. There's some
good speakers on there. I mean, everyone seems. I don't know all of them, but I know most of them.
Most of those guys charge about $500 an hour when they speak elsewhere. So if you listen to one speech, you're going to get 100 times, return on investment if you apply it.
Yeah,
and it's like anything you got to apply with. But what they're teaching you isn't hard. It's not like you need, you don't need to buy stuff. You don't need special education or anything like that. It's like an epiphany. We call them gold nuggets when we're talking about them. It's something that you didn't know that now you know it. Cool. You're going to make money with it.
Good deal. So, Don, you want to close it out? You want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I'll close it. Yeah, I will. I'll close it out a little bit. It really was all about the tool vendors too, right? I just want to give them a big plug, and it's really about them. Amazing. We know that they had a really hard year. And we know that tool maker, everybody thinks that they make a ton of money, and they really don't. I've always said, and Mike, you and I are such good friends, we talk all the time, but we've always said we don't really pay for a tool, right? It pays for itself first time we use it, and it really makes us better and cleaner. And what I've seen come out in the last few years, we could really all up our game, and we feel bad for these vendors, and it's really about them. And that's why we're not going to be speaking between 10 and 2. We're going to have that platform opened completely for the vendors to be able to take advantage and bop in and out of those deals and just make some deals. People think they're making a ton of dough, and honestly they haven't sold many tools this year. So you guys, with everybody listening, without those tools we wouldn't be the Dent guys that we are today. So
it's a hard
give
business.
These guys some love.
That's a whole new subject, man, but
it is. But
it's one
of the biggest reasons we're doing it. Yep.
Exactly. We hope everybody shows up, and again, that $70. It's if you have had a really tough year because of what's going on and whatnot. It's one of those, if you can't afford to, you can't afford not to. And if it is a financial thing, you can't swing the $70 or $99 or whatever. Reach out to me or something, because I'm trying to work on something where I'm helping people out, especially if you're if you've had that bad a problem. And a bunch of guys have reached out to me on different things, and that's just the way I do with tools and whatnot. I always feel terrible if somebody's tools are ripped off or something like that. I always try and step up. And
Just trying to lift
but again,
everybody
yeah,
up.
just
Thank
going to
you,
be
Mike.
tremendous value, and yeah, get everybody. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be fun, and don't miss the first ever PDR drinking game.
Cool. Good deal. Good deal. Virtual
That's gonna be
drinking
I won't
game.
fun.
say anything else than
Yeah.
that, but it's being built.
We made it from scratch. It's really cool. Really cool.
Yeah.
And
Well-
then you're gonna have little rooms too. So if you see someone you haven't seen in a while, you can bop over into a room and bullshit with them a little bit. Or if you want to get into a hail room and just bullshit with those guys, you can. There's gonna be a great networking, stuff. This platform is amazing. So just come on board and learn all about that.
Good deal, guys.
Yep,
So
don't
I
miss
listen.
out.
I wanted to
Thank
appreciate
you so much, Mike.
No problem, man. I appreciate you guys coming on, and good luck to you guys on the on that platform. It's the first of the first, and I know people are going to get a lot of value out of it when they sign up. So take care. Go over there, dentrepair.com. Go check it out, you guys, and we'll catch you guys and see you guys, and we'll talk to you guys afterwards too. What you learned from that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
All right, guys.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Mike.
Cool.
Have a good
Thank
one.
you, Mike.
Buddy.
You're
See
awesome.
you guys.
All right, guys. My next guest is Chris Brown from Dent Patrol, and I've known Chris for a little bit now. I actually went on a little ride with him, and we did a ride along, and something that's never really been done or documented, at least. Now, I could have done it myself and with one of my technicians, or brought you on one of my accounts, but why not go with Chris Brown, who handles some of the most busiest accounts, I think, personally, in the nation. So welcome, Chris Brown. Hey, how you doing, dude? Thank you for coming on.
How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, dude. Doing fantastic. So and listen, a few weeks ago, right? About 3 weeks ago, maybe almost a month ago, I went and did a ride along, which will be on YouTube very shortly after this podcast, guys. And we're just kind of give you a little preview of what was on there. And so we're talking about, we never really show on video what it's like to do wholesale accounts, dealerships that we call it. You're a run and gun master, man, because it is called PDR Masters, right? It's Dent PDR with Dent Masters, and I consider obviously you one of the Dent Masters out there. And it was about the wholesale scene. So, and we were talking behind the scenes, and you said, "Well, that's all I know." Right?
Yeah, that's it, man. I don't know anything else, so don't ask me any other questions. Only wholesale.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't want to. You kind of mentioned it in the videos and stuff where you're at, But let's give an idea of how many cars on a let's say on a slow day and like on a busy day. How much volume are you actually doing on a wholesale account in a day?
Well, the group that I take care of, there's one owner.
Yeah.
They have 12 stores, and it comes in waves. So like on a Monday, Tuesday, it's maybe 6 or 7 cars. Slide in a body shop here or there. But once Wednesday through Friday, we're going 15, 18 cars a day.
And that's 15 to 18 cars a day on a slow day?
Well, 10 on a slow day, 15 plus, and it really starts to get going at the end of April. And they really go all the way to October, where we'll be doing 15, 18. Sometimes, one time I did 27 cars in one day.
Wow. Yeah, but you're not just doing little small door dings. I mean, when we were filming this, right, it just happened to be smaller ones. But that one on the Volvo that you were fixing, that was pretty hectic, that, and which we'll get to. We'll show a little bit. And this is one of your techs right here, right?
Yeah, that's Austin Carr.
Yeah.
He's 3 years in now.
Yeah, Austin, he's really mellow. He's a mellow guy, man.
Yeah, he's got the perfect mentality to be a tech.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, okay? How long you been doing wholesale accounts now?
Since the very beginning, 1994.
And let's talk about the story, because you did say that you put it on video, because that was one of the funny scenes in this though. But I want you to you say it here so they can expect you to say it over there. how did you end up getting into PDR? I mean, tell the story about about the Dent Wizard walk-in thing, dude.
I was on my way for a job interview because I was getting married. I needed a real job. Didn't have much going on. I don't know why she said yes when I didn't have a really good job. But I wanted to live by the beach, so I knew a BMW manager in the parts department down in Hermosa. And I went down there early, beat traffic, went to this cafe across the street to have a little breakfast. And this is back when you used to read classified ads in an actual newspaper, you know. So I'm reading it and it says, PDR technician, 100K a year, no experience. I said, well, that's me. And I look and it says Dent Wizard International. And I look at the address and I look out the window and it's right across the street. So I never made it to my meeting with BMW. I just went to Dent Wizard and didn't leave until they gave me the job.
Yeah, but in the video we were recording is that you said, well, you might not make it. Not a lot of people make it. And you said, well, I'm going to make it, you know? And
yeah. I'm not a lot of people.
Yeah.
I'm just one guy.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
the way you express it, I'll set it up. I'll paraphrase because basically we're walking on the lot and you're like, yeah. So, you know, they said, you know, you can make up to $100,000 a year. Right. And so you went in there and said, I want to make $100,000 a year. Well, hold on a second, man. Not everybody makes it. And so you might not be able to, you said, well, hold on a second. I'm going to make it. But you said $100,000 a year. So I'm in. Right?
That's right. I gave the manager a hard time.
Yeah. So I didn't even know, before we were hanging out, didn't even know you worked for Dent Wizard. Didn't even know that.
I did. I went in with the idea because once after that first initial meeting, it was like, oh, you can even own a franchise. Well, that's about me because I have a personality flaw. I can't have a boss. So I don't do well with it. So I thought I'll do whatever I have to do to get this franchise. So talked to a buddy of mine. He's like, I got the money. I want to get in. This was after a couple months of being in the business. And they told me 2 years in the corporate territory and you can buy whatever franchise we have available. I said, good. I want Oceanside, and which is down by you, brother. Yeah. So needless to say, that didn't happen. So I packed up my things and left, started my own deal.
Now what year was that, or how long ago?
I was only with them a little over a year and a half because I knew it wasn't going to happen.
So you meant business, man. You're one of the people that actually saw the writing on the wall and got out as quick as you could.
Yeah. And it was getting competitive. I mean, Dent Wizard had their hands full with all kinds of stuff, and
that's what I'm saying. I mean, they didn't treat you bad. They just didn't.
No,
they just didn't go through with what you're saying, and you just said, you know what, I'm just going to control my own future. Basically, that's what you did.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to work for a lower commission. I'm out here busting my hump in 100-degree heat. I want to do it.
Yeah.
I want to own my own business.
Yeah.
So that I handed in the tools at one meeting. Said thank you very much. Goodbye. Made a trip down to the Ding King. Bought a bunch of tools, and they were actually nice tools. And got started that next Monday on my own.
Well, how did you pick up your account though? I mean, like what went on that?
First, I just hit the dealer base that I knew, and they just wanted me. They didn't care what the company name was. So, they just went with me. So
you're kind of an in-house guy. You're like it's kind of you're like a subcontractor / in-house guy.
Yeah, Galpin happened in '99, and I went there for I think it was 3 years straight, like once a week, handing out my card. And until they were just sick of seeing me, and then one day they just gave me a shot on a hood that their guy messed up. And I thought, okay, it's a Jaguar aluminum hood, XJ model. And it was puckered up. The guy made Oreo cookies out of it. And I thought, well, I'm not going to really, I don't think I'm going to get this account. So I'm going to charge whatever I want. So I charged him $500. So the service manager had an aneurysm. He started screaming at me. And I said, hey, call me first next time. So that was that. They started calling me first. And it started in the Jaguar service drive. So, and then it eventually grew from there.
Well, how does a tech get so unwrapped, shall I say? Because you've been in there for quite a long time, right? In a way, like, I'll paint the picture for people who don't understand wholesale or thinking about getting wholesale. Once you really get your rhythm in there, and they get to know you, they trust you, you trust them. It's almost like, man, it's like too good of made. Like, you can go in there and write up 15 cars, and they're not even looking at them and going, go ahead and do them. And you're going around, and this is it's almost a too good to be true kind of account, right? Some accounts can be $20,000 a month. Some can be $40,000 a month. Some can be $5,000. It just doesn't matter. You start building up these accounts, right? And I'm going to get to my point in a second here. At what point, what I'm trying to say is that you basically have branched out and did some retail now. And what gave you that alarm to think about, okay, I shouldn't put all my eggs in one basket? Because you have it pretty well. You really technically don't need retail based on what I saw, but you're a smart cat, dude. So what made you want to like start branding out to other things?
Well, my brother, because in these large accounts, you end up in a little bubble. Like, you're in there in your own little world. Whatever the amounts are, that's what you're making, and you're comfortable. And long as you focus hard on taking care of them, you're going to be pretty good, as long as they have good management. There's a bunch of dudes out there that will cut you out for $5, but you don't commit unless you're really, solid.
Yeah.
But my brother came to me and he's like, bro, there's a whole world of PDR happen, and you don't even know what's going on. And he started showing me some pictures of big dents. He showed me some of your stuff. He showed me Sal's stuff. And I was like, get out of here. Because, a big dent for me over there, because I didn't even upgrade the tools yet. I was cranking along for 15 years with like my 14 tools, and if I'm like, if we can't do it with this, it can't be done, And I really woke up, because then I went back, like, I hadn't been to MTE for like, a decade or more. And I went back and was walking around with my eyes, like googly, seeing all this stuff and all the glue pulling. And I have to credit my brother. He got me out, started doing big dents. I didn't think I could do it. Started really watching everything. I got on a Dent trainer and became a member and started watching everything. And I'll never forget, my first big dent was on a BMW Z4, came back from MTE. Guy calls me and said, yeah, I could do it. $675. I get there and I'm like way over my skis. I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to get this out. Body line's crushed in. The whole deal's on the top of the fender. And lo and behold, got it out. And that was the start of big dents.
It's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing how all it takes is a little bit of, shall I say, little bit of motivation, somebody to kind of push you a little bit over the edge. We all have that one person, and luckily it's your brother that said, hey man, there's other people. I'm just surprised it took you that long, even when your brother's doing all these train wrecks for years, you know what I mean? And was it because you were so comfortable where you were at? And
there was a point where you can get spoiled in these kind of accounts, and you should, if I recommend anything to any techs coming up or someone looking to get, really focused in on wholesale, first of all, I would say, know what the game is. what that dance is. Ask people who are in the business, what's the up and downs, what's the politics of it all, because it is definitely a dance. And especially when you're dealing with like 12 to 13 dealerships all under one name, every manager thinks they're your boss.
Yeah.
So the higher up the ladder you can go with your deal, it's like my deal is with ownership. It's not with management.
Amen. That's what I've been preaching. That's what I preach.
So if you have a group there, if it's a Penske or something like that, you're not getting to the owner, but you can get to the regional manager, So, and that would be my whole thing is like, just know what it is. And if you're okay with doing the dance, you dance with the girl you brought, it's like, this is what it is. I'm okay with it, and just hammer it out and you'll be fine.
I think you nailed, you hit the head on the nail right there. You have to understand the game. That's right.
Yes.
And don't stop at the manager. And for you guys who are listening to me and Chris, or ladies out there, and when you get an account, Chris is right. You don't stop at the manager, and you get to know everybody, including, and now let's talk about including the lower level people, right? Because they're the ones that always climb up the ladder.
I'm taking care of the lot porters too, because they tell me where the cars are at, all the way up. It's just this whole thing. I'll give you an example today. I was coming home to do this thing. So I wanted to get home a little early. And then I'm here at my house at 4:00. Phone rings. Got an expedition. We're selling it. It's got 2 dents on the door. Just came out of recon. You didn't get to it yet. Oh, and by the way, there's 7 more going into detail. Look at those 2. When can you be here? Be there in 30 minutes. I shot back down to the valley, which is a 25-minute drive. Went and did 3 cars, told them I'll do the rest tomorrow, and they were cool with that. And then I shot right back here and got here at 5:45.
Look at that. Well, then they're also your eyes too, as well. Yeah. Another competitor comes in. Hey, dude, they kind of give you the heads up so you can react quick too.
I get a phone call every time Lee Shuri comes over to visit with me, because they have a Starbucks in there. So me and Lee will have a Starbucks and just talk business and whatnot. And I'll get a call. The body shop will be like, hey, dude, there's a dent guy here. I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm sitting with him. So yeah. But yeah, that would be the thing. It takes a long time to get into big dealers. What I've learned over the years, now I don't try to go land the used car department, because they already have a guy. I try to land the service drive, because I know I'm going to be better than the guy that's in there. At least, thinking confidently, go in there. And then once you start saving their butts on a few things, then all of a sudden the used car manager pays attention. Hey, can you go to this customer's house for me? Sure thing. No problem. And then next thing you know, you're doing all the used cars.
Yep. That's exactly it. Hold on a second here. Hold on a second. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So I won't walk in and hit up the used car manager every time. I go in and talk to service director, some service advisors, try to work my way in that way. It's kind of like a backdoor approach, because they got their guy, and unless he really screwed something up and they're out looking, like I'm going tomorrow down to a dealership that's a little farther out of my area, but it's a way in to another group. So even if I don't, it's Kia, and it'll maybe be 20 cars a month.
Yeah.
But they have multiple dealerships in that group. So it's just for the future. We'll go down once a week, take care of it, and providing he accepts my prices.
What I really brought you on here for too, as well, is not just to talk, because we talked about some accounts. Joe and I friggin' really kind of broke it down a little bit. But I really wanted to take the viewer with us, and we shot a video, like I mentioned earlier, and let me pull it up a little bit too, as well. So you're actually here doing this hard dent right here. You ended up glue pulling this, didn't you?
Yeah. I didn't like the tool on it. It was a little slickery. It was sliding around on me. So.
Yep. And let's talk about access points, because you were saying, look, I'm not going to drill into the jam. I'm going to go underneath it, or I'm going to glue pull it. And I was like, well, there's paint already missing on it. And you were like, well, let me just try it. You couldn't get the hook on it you wanted to. You ended up pulling the touch-up paint anyways. And then look at this little tech tip right here. You're using the John Hiley little
bend the
tool right there, and then using it as a bender. And then what I wasn't sure is glue pulling a matte paint. And this was a Mercedes, right?
Yeah, S-Class. Yeah.
Yeah. So look, we went from one place to another. Look how tight you work. I mean, you work in some tight places, dude.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I don't know how you do
lose a little weight, because I'm now rubbing both cars at the same time.
And we talk about that too in the video, about showing, like, you know, how you're working in such confined areas. It can be really
well. They want me to move the cars, okay? You know, they're like, just take it over there. There's a work. I ain't got enough time for that. Come on. You know, just like jump out the car, get the dent out, boop, next spot, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, I have a certain dollar amount I'm trying to hit every hour. And, you know, obviously that all comes to a halt if the dent's not right.
Yeah.
But I'm shooting for a certain number every hour, and I just keep moving.
Yeah.
But, that was a chance I took right there, pulling on the matte finish.
Okay, because I thought because I wasn't just so good. I'm glad you admitted that, because I was like, I'm not sure if I would have tried it, or at least I would have told them. I would have said, hey,
deeper, I would have done something else. But I saw that it was a dime size shallow dent, and just a little dead center tap. Yummy.
Yeah, you did.
Got right out of there.
You did a hell of a job, dude. I mean, we'll just show it on video later on, not on this one, but on the it's called PDR with Dent Masters. You guys, this Chris Brown's going to be in this. We take you guys on a ride along. We get even more in depth than this. I'm not going to go give away all the stuff, and he's not going to say everything he said on the video. I just think it's really kind of really interesting to see someone else doing accounts besides, you know, myself or what I've done. And it's amazing, Chris, not to say anything, but you know, when are you going to stop doing PDR yourself? Are you always going to be doing PDR? Are you going to hire anybody? What do you think besides that?
I love it. I've had a rejuvenation in my career with getting back to MTE, doing big dents. I love the volume. You know, it's kind of I love hitting the target every day. You know, we did 9 cars, we did 13, you know, and some of these cars are beat, you know, others, you know, it's a gift.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I don't think I will stop. I'll go until my hands and eyes quit.
Good for you, man. Good for you.
I just love it. I just love it.
Well, you guys, I want you to really check out this video. It will be out very soon, probably within the week. That's why I brought Chris on. I just think that it's a lot. You share a lot, and we even go to this really cool car scene right here. Look at this little thing. The Galvin has their own. What is this in here?
It's like they call it the collection, but it's really like a car museum. But everything in there is for sale. So it's a pretty neat place, and I like when I get to go in there, because then I'm sitting on marble, you know. I'm still stuck between 2 cars though.
Now you fix cars in here once in a while? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, probably it's probably 2-3 times a month they'll pull me in there for something.
Wow, look at how much money you think is in that showroom right there?
It's ridiculous. I mean, they've got a couple cars in there that just the one car is worth a couple $1 million.
Yeah.
So,
and
really high end.
We're walking over to these small little tiny things, man. What are these called again?
Micro cars from Europe. I've actually been in that one before, the blue one.
Yeah. So here's that dent, and then this is a Volvo. You did a fantastic job on this repair here.
You know, Volvo's like, that dent itself is not anything to write mama about, but on a Volvo, XC90 on the rear door with all that bracing,
Let
it
me
just becomes really tough.
let me back that up here, dude. Let me tell you something, Chris. Don't be so humble, man, because that dent. Let me just pause it right there. It's either you're getting it out or you're not. There is no like it's gonna
There's
look
no middle on
okay.
that one. No.
Because
Yeah.
that's in the famous brace right there in the door of the Volvo, and it's a deep crease, and you're going to be using a very sharp whale tail to get on there, and you're going to be doing some pokes if you don't do it, nice and easy. So give yourself a little bit of credit on that, and we'll be showing that on the video as well. So. And it's longer than you think. Look how nice and long that is. So,
Well, it's got a couple little ones right next to it too.
Yeah.
But
and this is you're using now this light doesn't really show justice of how good that board is that you're using right there, because you flipped that lens inside out, right? It's kind of like a green look to it. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's really green.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of times I'll put I'll put my umbrella up, and it really highlights it.
Yeah. Well, so what we end up covering on here is that we talk about how you're using Mobile Tech RX, how you have a system like when your guy comes behind you, you walk the lot, you do a certain system on how they should go from one car to another. I don't want to give it away, and I don't want you to say anything. I want them to watch the video and see all the little things that you do. And you're getting after it, Chris. I mean, you are getting after it, man, and doing your thing.
Thanks. Well, if I had any advice for guys that are looking to grow their wholesale business or try to land that mega dealer, the mega dealer becomes your mistress. I mean, drop of the hat, you got to go. You got to go take care of them if you want to keep the account. But how to price it, how to do it, I would. Matter of fact, I've changed the way I do it. I did it one way for years, and then I listened to Dave Shalott, and his system is amazing.
Okay, so break that system down. What do you mean?
So let's say these big dealers, they want a package deal for the car. So, and whatever you negotiate, like I like to negotiate, I'll give you this package price down here, but then you leave me alone, and I do everything I find. If I have to make a list and go talk to some manager, well, that price is different because now my time is, I'm dealing with somebody. But Shalott's way of doing it is he has his package price, if I remember correctly. I might have modified it a little bit, but he has his package price, but up to a certain amount of dents per car. And then anything over 3 inches, it gets estimated at a wholesale rate that you guys agree upon ahead of time. Matter of fact, I use his in Mobile Tech RX. Dave Shalott has his wholesale pricing guide in there.
Yep.
And I just use that.
So basically, you go in there with your accounts and you say, "Look, I'll do this many type of repairs up to this point." Basically, you have stipulations, right? So you're not letting them get away with murder and just going, "I'm going to auction and buy the most train wrecks because I know I'm only going to be spending $75 or $100 on the car," right?
Right. And the way you sell that is, I'm sure you want the best quality at the cheapest rate. At $75 for a whole car, mentally to stay engaged, I can only do so many dents before I'm losing money. But when you have these other ones that are larger that the dent guy would normally turn down, I'm going to keep it out of the body shop.
That's exactly that's what I say. Look, it might look cheaper on paper when this guy says he'll do every car for $5 to $15 cheaper than me, but he's also turning down more work than I would do. And it keeps the motivation up for both of us where it's a both win. And that's what you say in the lingo, right? Hey, if you send that car to the body shop and it could have been saved, well, now you're losing days at a time. And the factory, the factory finish. So the other thing, and body shop guys, I mean, the managers don't want to send it to the body shop guys. They don't because they know once that car's off the lot, they're losing money.
Well, and they're going to tell you, "Oh, I could get it done for the whole panel for $100." No, they can't.
Yeah.
So, well, especially in California. So that it's $300 wholesale rate for minor body work and paint.
Yeah.
wholesale.
Yeah.
But if I'm doing $75 to $100 for the car, I did 2 or 3 panels, but this panel over here, I'm now getting 125. Well, now I'm really doing well on this car.
I think we've been all conditioned, obviously you, me, we've all been conditioned into these wholesale accounts that you can't get more money. And that's one of the reasons why it's such a hard, I think it's a roadblock as well, that we feel like this is the number one reason for retail, right? Is because we feel like the retail customer is going to be extremely picky. We have to make sure that it's going to be 100%, right? When we don't realize is that all the training we've been doing is perfecting our dents. That's if you're a decent dent guy. Those dealerships, wholesale accounts have been prepping you to be a great retail tech.
Yes.
It's just what's in your head and conditioning. And about pricing too. That's what I was getting at, is that, you get hammered year after year, especially the guys who've been in for a long time, like you and me, that it was all about cheaper, cheaper, cheaper. And we were never thinking about the value of our service as we got better.
True. I had Enterprise Rent-A-Car, and it was me and one other tech, and we shared it and we split it. It was 400 cars a month at one of their return centers. It was like having a rental car agency at an airport. And they beat us up until we were shriveled up, dead, nothing left. I was ready to quit, and I had to let it go. I walked away.
Well, there's got to be a boundary where you say enough's enough, man.
Especially now that we have retail. I even have, I have a lot of body shops that I'm, wholesale, right? But now I got them, the top end body shops. I have them text me a picture. I use Mobile Tech RX to do when it's customer pay, and I do a retail quote, and then I give them 25% off from that retail quote. So they make 25% for just having the car in there.
Yeah.
So, tell me that 2 years ago, I would have thought that was impossible to do. But I just show them, hey, this is the world now. Mobile Tech RX, here it is. Boom.
Well, I think it comes down to what we've been practicing and preaching and everything. You wouldn't be able to do that if you didn't have any justification, if you didn't have the weapons to go into battle. I mean, you don't go into battle without any weapons, right? And if you walk into a fight without any weapon, like I said, you're dead.
Well,
you're not going to get it.
If you're doing all this wholesale, and what's the downer is favors, right? Oh, my son's car, or hey, this one I'm upside down in, can you help me out? And it's always a smash, right? But if you're getting customer pay in the service drive, you're getting customer pay at your body shops, you're part of the lease return procedure. That's another Dave Shalott thing. You get with the lease return people, and any dents that are on there, you're getting retail pricing. No money comes out of the customer's pocket, goes into the new car deal. And now, when they ask you for a favor, hey man, we dented this car in the service drive. And it's a little quarter-sized dent. It's not going to take you much time. I'll take care of you. Don't worry. Yeah. But now you can afford to do it because we got pennies in the Goodwill bank.
Good looking out.
Earning retail money.
Way to put that in there. A good little tech tip right there. I didn't even think about it like that, dude. Honestly, I didn't. Okay. So I'm gonna have to rewatch this. I'm gonna condition myself to rewatch that again. Let it get another upper hand on that.
Well, and it's all new to me. It's been 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay, I've been in this business almost 27 years, and listening to your podcast, PDR Tool Time. I'm listening to Dave Shalott stuff, and my brother Shane, and like our group, that we have. I'm like a different businessman.
It's amazing. It's amazing. We all grow together if we want to. You know what I mean? We all have something to contribute.
Shane and Lee and my brother, we're all kind of in the same area. So when people come from Yelp and all this, we get cross contamination, right? And Lee will be like, hey, did you get that one car? Yeah, I got it. And then I'm like, yeah, I ended up with the car. And Shane's like, what did you charge him? I'm like, what? I outbid Shane? How did that happen?
Yeah.
He's like, the prodigy,
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I got Shane's gonna be coming on pretty soon too. I think after your brother's actually gonna be coming on the one after
oh,
you.
nice.
So we're gonna talk about his smashes and what he did. So, but
yeah, my brother's a machine.
yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's got his stories too. He'll probably tell a story or two in between. So you know the
yeah.
dealio. So
get your bleeping button ready.
I know. Well, you guys, I just wanted to say, hey, listen, if you get a chance, we'll be making an announcement when his video's out. We're talking about, all his repairs that he did here, how the wholesale account was like, pulling dents and going back and forth and talking about just like what we're talking here, but more in depth and kind of getting the feel of what the wholesale account was like with Chris Brown. So Chris, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. What's your handle, dude?
Dentpatrol.cb.
And then dentpatrol.cb.com, or is it?
That's my website.
Okay.
Yeah, but
but it's the same way. Dentpatrol.cb.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, and you need to come back out because I need another day with little tiny dents because you're like.
Oh, you want to do the smash day, charm. Wholesale smash day? Is that what it is?
No. I need you to come back out. We need a little baby dent day.
Well, Chris, thanks a lot for coming on, man. We're gonna move on to the next segment, but I just want to say thanks again for coming on. And look out for the new video coming out on YouTube with Chris Brown, and we'll catch you later, Chris.
All right, thanks, buddy.
All right, guys. You know how you have those dents really close to the edge, and then you've got that seam, that little high spot that sticks out. That can be a real pain in the butt. Well, we're going to show you how we did it at a dent meetup. Actually, Shane Roses was one of the techs that was actually doing the repair most of the time. He likes to repair hog, PDR hog sometimes. I'm just kidding, Shane. Not sure if he's going to watch this or not, but meanwhile, let's get into this. And by the way, again, if I haven't said it already, check this video out. You want to watch it on video because it's very visual with these video casts that I do now. So if you are on an Android device and you can't do it iTunes, go to Podbean. You can download that app. That'll show you. That's basically where my videos are hosted from. And then you can go and check out on YouTube. So check that out as well. So meanwhile, let's do this. All right. So here we go. Let me just pull up my screen here. All right. So we are talking about this type of repair right here. You see now, if you're a line guy, you can see exactly what we're talking about. We're talking about this seam right here, this edge, and then this is the dented part right here, just to the left of that. And we'll swing it up just a little bit more. Now, we had a dent meetup. This is what we do. We create dents in a vehicle that can be quite difficult, small, doesn't have to be big, doesn't have to be huge, time consuming, but main thing is about how well can you keep it clean. And this is what this is about, if you can get it out and then keep it clean. So you can see a little bit more how it is there too as well. So let me swing over and I'll zoom in a little bit for you guys here. So there's the low, all right, and then this is the seam, the edge of that, all right. So let's go swing this over here. Yeah, and there you can see it. So Shane's like, all right, well, we're gonna try to glue pull it, because he did what he did at first. He tried to cold glue it, right? He's using the sticky icky. And for the most part, he got some of it out, but he didn't get it all the way out. Okay, naturally, he got some of it. He got some of it started, shall I say. So what he wanted to do is go with some Kiko dead center tabs. And this is what he's ended up doing here. I mean, I could play the video for you, I guess. And so he's setting it up. And he's setting it up one from the top and one from the bottom. Now, why is he doing that? Because he wants to gravitate the metal going towards the center, going towards the deepest part. And that way he doesn't have to trap metal going from one side to the other. All right, so he's using the robo lifter, slides it on, and then does this snap, okay, and starts pulling it. Now, here's a tech tip too as well, ladies and gentlemen. He got a good pull there, really good pull. So we'll actually take a look at how that pulled. Yeah, so he's already pulling a majority of that dent out. Let me back that up here for you guys. Okay, yeah. So are we on the same page now? Yep. So he's going for dead center Kiko tabs, which is the ice tabs, which can be a lot more aggressive. So I'm not going to go spend too much time on here. You're going to watch this video is friggin' actually really good because it's going to be released. And now here for you fall guys, you guys can really see that seam right in there, right there. And then here's still the low right there. That's a pain in the butt. Okay. So what is he going to do? What is some of his techniques that he's trying to do? Well, Shane was actually tapping down the outside with a hammer. I don't really recommend that because you could pull it, but this is what I recommend right here, what Shane's doing. So he's using like a dead center, dead on dent, tap down tip or a VIP plastic tip. And he's getting right in there. He's getting accurately tapping that down. Now, this was part of the solution, but it wasn't always the solution. You guys are like, well, I would have used that. Well, we didn't quite get it out the way we wanted to. So he kept glue pulling and he's bringing it up a little bit more. Now, here's the crazy thing about this. Okay. We'll come back to this part right here. This part right here is you're going to see in this part right here where Joe he pulls out all his stuff that he has in his toolbox, but we'll get to that later. So what Shane's doing now is I'm like, hey man, I turn away and he got a lot of it out, him and Chris. So look at Chris is going for the fine tuning right there. What they had to do was break away that seam a little bit, like loosen it up. And so how did they loosen it up? Well, they glue tabbed it, of course. And the main thing about it, here's that last little bit right here. They're tapping down. These VIP tap downs and the dead on dent tips, ballistic tips are freaking fantastic for these type of accurate pinpoint tap downs. Okay, for you hitting those highs. So I looked at his dent and I was like, hey man, how did you get the rest of that dent out? And so he was saying, look, I used the edge jack and what it ended up doing is going around it on the outside to loosen it up. And so he would bend it backwards a little bit. Now here's a tech tip as well. All right. So we're going to show like what he was doing. So he was doing this. He sets it up right here and he was flexing the edge of that panel. All right. And so as he was flexing that edge, make sure that plays here. Let me bring it around. That seam would come loose. Now, again, here going back to my tech tip right here. So what you can do is you can actually take a razor and slice this inner piece, this little glue seam right here, slice it, peel it off, and then do this so you don't mark it, so you don't leave those little marks. That's just a tech tip right there you could do. We talked about that because I didn't see Shane doing it until later, and then Shane's like, oh, okay, we could do that. So this is the type of stuff that we do, and we talk about like, hey, if you got a situation like this, cut it with a razor blade on both sides, the top and the bottom, and then peel that back, right? And then when you're done, re-glue it back in, and then you won't have those marks. But anyhow, going back to the technique, so this is what Shane did is pull that, flex it back, flex the edge back, loosens up that seam on the other side where the high spot was, and then you can tap it down because it's kind of stuck. And what he did is he unstuck it. And this is how he ended up using the edge jack right there. So, and that's how he was able to do it. Okay. And pretty much, like I said, it released, and this is what he was doing to do that. Pretty cool, huh? And then so he was able to get that edge back, that low, and bring that seam back in. And then voila, right there. So that's a tech tip right there. All right. Hope that helps, that little bit right there. And I know it was kind of like, you know what? It was kind of a last minute fill in for me, because I was like, man, I had a segment going for this whole podcast, and it got a little messed up. So I felt like I had to make up for a little bit. And this is a segment that I'm going to be doing most of the time on my podcast now. Okay. So we'll do a little bit of a little training kind of insight and tech tip. It's kind of like all mixed in one. So you can see, how this repair was done, or we'll get Joe on, or a guest person on that talks about one of their repairs. Matter of fact, I'd like to bring Shane on, that he's on Dent Trainer showing one of his repairs as well. So I've got a lot of cool things up ahead for this podcast, video cast, if you will. If you guys like these type of videos, you like these episodes, I know some of you are YouTube people. Some of you guys are listening on the podcast or watching on the podcast. Do me a favor, smash the like button, subscribe, and if you're not on YouTube and not watching or listening to this, give me a review on iTunes if you can. That would make a heck of a lot. I don't think they call it iTunes anymore. I think they just call it podcasts or whatever it is. But if you can, give me some love. Give Joe and I some love. Let us know what you guys think, and we'll see you guys more and more about these type of repairs. Anyways, I hope you guys liked this podcast. Let me know you guys' thoughts. It means a lot to me to hear you guys' feedback, and let me know what you guys think about Joe. And even though he was supposed to be on this podcast, but we'll get him on the next one. All right. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. We're going to see you guys on the next one. Take care.